Hey y'all, how you doing? Today I'm just going to be walking around my garden harvesting a few things and bringing y'all along. First thing I'm going to harvest is this pepper here, and it is a sweet pepper. I'm not really sure of the variety, but it's really yummy and really sweet. Today I'm going to be going to my slope garden. This is where I planted a pumpkin that the deer have eaten, the leaves, and some squash some honey nut squash. They're in bloom, but the deer have definitely eaten them back. This garden is a mess. I have not touched it since I got stung by a bee. It's all overgrown with weeds. But this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be walking through here and looking to see if I've got any ripe tomatoes. I did bring some brown paper bags for putting in the tomatoes that I want to save seeds from. I put it in the bag and then I write the variety on it. That way, whenever I go take them in, they're easier to distinguish, because once you get a basket full of tomatoes, you think you're going to remember the varieties and you just don't. These tomatoes haven't even been pinned up yet. Like, we haven't got them pinned up on our trellis, so they're just everywhere. This right here is a prairie fire, and this is one of my most favorite type of tomatoes, and I know that one's done because I've picked many of those in my day. Okay, I'm just going to work my way down this row, looking through my jungle and trying to be as careful as I can to not step on plants that are in the walkway. Let's see, I see some down here. This one. Okay, what variety are you? That one is a mystery one. It's a question mark, but it feels ripe. So just based on the way it looks, I'm going to say that this is one of the Star Wars varieties, and they have a little bit of red and green on them when they're ripe. I'm not sure which one. It's probably one of the Rebel Starfighters, though. See these down here on the ground? That is a Tappy's. No. They actually come from here. So this is a Marsh's beefsteak, and that's definitely ready. And that one's not quite ready. So this is a Marsh's Starfighter beefsteak, and that's what that one looks like. I'm just looking through here. Let's see. That one is... That's not the right plant. It's coming from this plant. This is a Rebel Starfighter Prime. I think this is a Rebel Starfighter Prime, and I think it could use another day or two. Let's see. This one is Rebel Starfighter Prime Nose, and it's ready. That's coming from here, but that doesn't look like the same tomato. This is a Rebel Starfighter Wookie Balls. Walking down through this jungle, trying not to step on the branches that are in the walkway, and looking to see if any of them look ripe. Which, hopefully I'm not missing very many, because I'm sure they're hard to see. Ooh, that one looks ready. If so, you're going to be happy if it is what I think it is. Kind of looks like a green zebra. There's a lot of fruit on here right now. It's just not ready. And lots of flowers forming. And it's kind of hard to see down into the jungle. Like, see, there's some that aren't ready. There's some that aren't ready. Oh, there's some that aren't ready. Now I've got to try to step over these branches here. I'm getting down to the end of this row. Check these plants and see if I've got any cucumbers. I've got a little baby one there. Hold on, can you see it? I'm going to let it keep growing for a bit. Same here. I've got a little one there. I'm going to let it keep growing. Now I'm going up the back side and I'm seeing lots of fruit. Oh, that one could be ready. Let's see if I can get in here. I'm going to leave that one. It feels a little firm still. We do actually have potatoes planted here. They're being overtaken by weeds, but some of them are indeterminate, so they need to stay in the ground a little longer. But up there where it's starting to yellow, I think that patch is ready to come out because they are determinate, and they're probably done for the year. Look at this. So I'm saying there's a bunch of fruit everywhere. Look at all that fruit. Got tomatoes everywhere. My rows just aren't very pretty right now. See, these are the ones I'm saying. These potatoes here are probably ready to be dug up. They're dying back, and that's a sign it's time. Fountain is down there pruning off diseased growth and superficially pinning some of them up. Not going through and pinning up everything, but we won't get this done today. There's a chance we'll go the rest of the season and this won't get done. Because ever since I had my bee sting, I haven't been able to get out here and work on anything. So it's kind of just on its own in a way, not completely. I do get out here in the evenings, but it's not enough time to do the stuff. And I did take a significant break after I was stung, where I didn't even come outside at all. Here's my onion patch we planted together earlier in the season. I just don't know how big these are going to get due to weed pressure. I do still have onions in here. Like there's one. There's one. There's some back there you're probably having trouble seeing. Due to neglect of the patch, I'm just not sure how many I'm actually going to get this year and how big they're going to get. One thing that is doing well are all these pepper plants. When I planted them, they were slightly yellow. Not as yellow to some of my others, but these are the hot peppers. I do have a few peppers growing on these, but they're not ready yet. They're still all green, and I like to let my peppers get ripe. And also, this calendula patch is doing quite well. There's calendulas everywhere, all the way up through there. And then these snapdragons, even though they're real weedy, like they're starting to take off. That dark green there are the snapdragons. They're starting to take off and grow. And I think I showed you earlier on this video that there was a couple in bloom. So the garden is doing its thing in spite of me and in spite of not being taken care of the way I would like to take care of it. But that's why over this next year into next growing season, I'm just going to figure out how to simplify everything so that way I can continue to garden. It's just going to be a learning curve and trying to figure out what the best practices are going to be for me so I don't get stung. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I harvested some tomatoes in my garden and kind of just gave you an update on how everything's doing, and how it's doing is weedy. All right, see you on the next one. Bye.